Yeah, I know I'm an Ascended. There's no reason to faint over it. Wait. Hang on. Is that like a resurrection? Did you just faint or did you just die? How weird. Anyway. There you go again. Anyway. Welcome to another MMO Anthropology, and I'm bringing you into Rift, the Plains of Telara. And immediately behind me you can see what I believe is a Death Rift, which is where the game gets its name. And not that far behind it, I think that I see what's possibly a Fire Planar Rift. This game was launched, well, over a year ago, and did so with much fanfare and suggestion that it was going to beat World of Warcraft. In fact, we're going to be comparing it probably to World of Warcraft, as Blizzard's game has been one of the predominant forces in the MMORPG, especially the pay-to-play arena. And not only that, Tryon Worlds did their best to make it seem as if they were trying to defeat WoW at their own game. However, as we can see, the Tryon Worlds game, Rift the Plains of Telara, only succeeded in gaining only about 1 million players, which is about a tenth of what the World of Warcraft has right now, even after their player base was quite literally decimated, when they reduced from around 11 million to 10 million last year. The reason that I'm bringing us into Tryon Worlds Rift is because just recently it was announced that Rift is free to play for individuals who want to get into the game and play from level 1 to 20. World of Warcraft did something very similar last year where it enabled people to enter their game and play for free from levels 1 to 10, except for with huge restrictions on gameplay and capabilities. Point in fact, in World of Warcraft you can't join parties, you can't message other people. I don't believe that you can use global chat even. This was designed primarily to stop, I would have to say, spammers, because World of Warcraft is literally inundated. It is lousy with gold spammers and gold farmers, and they want to stop that sort of thing. Whereas here in Rift, you can join parties. I haven't messaged another person yet, etc. I actually entered the game a long time ago when it first came out. I bought it, I played for about 2 months, but then the novelty really waned and wore off. However, numerous elements look very similar to World of Warcraft. I'm sure you've noticed. You have an action bar, some characters have pets. Some of the primary differences are these rifts. The Death Rift just evaporated, so we don't get to look at that interesting structure anymore. But a fundamental component that sets Rift aside from a game like World of Warcraft is the amazing and dense amount of customization that you could put into a single character. I'll show you that here. I'm sure that people who have seen World of Warcraft have seen skill trees, so this is nothing new. And the addition of a whole new set of skills that pop out when you advance up a skill tree, it also advances down. These are called roots, is really not that special. But what is special is that each of these skill trees actually represents a single soul, or in the concept of Rift, the Ascended, which is what we are made up of dead souls of heroes. One of the things that I can do, let's say I've got this Elementalist tree that gives me my little rock guy here. I've got a Pyromancy tree, which gives me a whole bunch of firepower, literally fire in this case. And I've got a Dominator tree. But let's say I wanted to do something else other than a Dominator. Like instead, I wanted to be able to steal the opponent's energy, like the Archon class. I can switch to the Archon class, which changes up this entire skill tree. You can do this as long as you only have 0 skills set into that skill tree. You can change it at any time, but the moment you start building roots, that stops. One of the things that I found ultimately interesting about Rift was this capability, and because it creates an endless variety and capability of generating interesting characters by wrapping together these 3 different trees. Many people, in fact, often will only build 2 trees and then switch out a slush tree in order to round out their low-level abilities as they like it, or to figure out where they're going. I did a lot of that myself, trying to figure out how a lot of different skills went together and how they functioned. So, one of the things that I'd like to present to everyone is another element that I think that sets Rift aside from World of Warcraft in a very, very distinct manner. And that is, let's look at the mortar fire here anyway. And that happens to be the rifts and invasions, planar invasions. Sometimes the planes break into the zones and enemies rush out. And if you join one of these rifts or you go to one, you have the capability of entering basically into what is a raid, an open raid. Hey look, a rift is opening up right now. Let's go get that. Alright, this rift just popped open. This is a death rift. When you enter a rift and there's other people around, it will offer to allow you to enter the party. However, there's nobody here right now, so we'll just start beating stuff up. If people do appear, I'll be able to show everyone on the YouTube what it means to join into one of these and what an open party is. Basically, an open party is if someone else is fighting at a rift and you want to join in and you want to reap the rewards of you know, the rift and the fight, you're essentially entered into a party without having to be invited into it. This can be good because it allows you to actually engage the game in a fashion that you wouldn't have been capable of doing before. Also, the more people engaging a rift means that more portions of the rift will open up. If it's just me, I think it will only go like either 1 or 2 stages, but I think that most rifts have either 4 or 5 stages to the max level where a boss monster pops out. Ah look, another guy appeared. However, he has not joined the open party. Stage complete. With each stage, another wave of enemies will come out of the rift. And each wave is more difficult than the last one. Ow. The more waves that you fight your way through, and the more enemies that you actually inflict damage against, the more experience that you gain for fighting in the rift. This also means that the rewards that come out of the rift will be higher, and they are granted here at this little money bag underneath the tube, since this is the second stage. I haven't picked up anything. Oh! Nope, it looks like these rifts only go 3 stages, because that is a boss monster. Shadebound Death Speaker. Well, let's hit him with my Pyromancer powers and some fire. And he is down. And after he goes down, the rift essentially evaporates. Stuff falls from the sky. Oh, look, see? As the rift evaporates, the environment around us goes back to what we saw before. While we're in the rift, there is a distinct change in the environment. You saw, like, this was a death rift, so there was a great deal of, you know, the dark gray and purple taking over the skyline, and then there were those interesting things sticking up out all around us. Now that it's gone, I'll collect the reward. The reward is some sort of shard. It's a recipe thing, and planarite, which is also a recipe thing. You can imagine that planarite is more or less a reward currency for doing rifts. Lovely stuff. This is the first zone that people are entered into. There's a city that's on fire. The game forces you into 2 factions, pretty much similar to World of Warcraft. One of them is the Guardians, who are a group of extreme zealots who worship the gods, And the gods are, like as in World of Warcraft, are really here. They're just a different type of planar entity, except that most people think that they have pretty much abandoned Telara, this particular region in the game. The opposing faction are the Defiants, who are kind of steampunky science-based people who have been trying to tap the planar energy and discover that they could rip holes in it, which creates these rifts. However, interestingly enough, the Defiants, who are painted as sort of science gone mad, make the Guardians look like zealous jerks. Because when the Defiants start tapping into the planar energies, they're claimed that they're causing destabilization and the emergence of an evil deity called Regulos, the Destroyer, who is essentially the incarnation of death and entropy, and pretty much eats all before him, and that's the basis of the storyline of Rift, is that Regulos destroys the future and you're sent into the past to save it. So here I am in the past saving it, and the reason why Regulos succeeds in destroying the future is that, what the hell, another rift is opening, so let's get out of here. Otherwise I'll have difficulty discussing this whole thing, but we can watch it occur from a distance, if anyone... This is what they look like when they pop open. You've watched it before. This one is probably another Death Rift. Yeah, we'll play with that later. The Guardians really look like zealous jerks because they destroy the stuff that the Defiants were building to actually control the planar energies, and by destroying that, they cause essentially the end of the world. As a result, I have a tendency to be more interested in playing the Defiants, and I suppose that I'm more aligned with their particular propaganda. Well, this seems like a good point to run off on. There's our bombardment in our city, and a Death Rift. I'll see you all later, YouTube. Good night, and good dreams. This has been another MMO Anthropology. If you like what you've seen, you should give us a rating, and if you want to see more stuff from the MMO community and Anthropology in general, be sure to subscribe. And if you have an experience in Rift, the Plains of Telara, please give us a comment below and join in with the all the YouTube niceness. And keep in mind, give us a comment, bring us a favorite, give us a rating, or Regulos will destroy all that you love.